It has got really strong rotation on it, that tornadic potential increasing just within the past kind of half an hour or so as it moves to the northeast. So what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of a loop on this. You can kind of see the general movement it's been taking, and we'll throw that on there. So there it goes. And that's a 45-minute loop, so it barely moved over 45 minutes. But this thing's going to ride along I-70, I think. Okay, so moving here to the north and east, where it crosses I-70, it's kind of hard to say at this point. But if it holds together and maintains that level of strength, it will be that concern for western portions of Effingham County here in the next half an hour to an hour or so. So be on guard, be paying attention. Just you don't have to take shelter yet, obviously, if you're in Effingham County, but you want to be keeping a close eye on things because things could ramp up fairly quickly here tonight. So we're watching that here with us right now. We're going to continue to kind of monitor things. Jacob, it is 7 o'clock here. I know we've got some viewers that are, getting ready to tune in for some of the programming, but we've got a tornado warning that is down in your area. Show us your view and what you're seeing as that storm approaches a little bit closer.
Yeah, so Kevin, to kind of give you a vantage point here where we're at, this is the storm behind me, St. Peter, about 1.25 miles this way from me, and then in that direction looking straight west. I think there's a new area that's starting to wrap up. I'm seeing a surge on the back side pushing to the north, and there's another area that is lowering a little bit more to the right of where I was before. So I'll zoom in on that. Look how low that wall cloud is to the ground, and it is definitely very turbulent. I mean, that thing is scraping the ground at this point as it continues to lift to the north and east. To me, Kevin, it looks like this is going to carry more towards St. James and St. Elmo, stay just north of St. Peter, but if this storm were to anchor onto the boundary, there's a decent chance that it could take more of a right turn, and that would carry it more towards St. James and Edgewood and Mason. So looking downstream here, going to be watching to see what this does very closely, but I think we're reorganizing, and we might be on our way towards a tornado here before long. The National Weather Service is saying if they had a spotter closer to it, they said it was on the ground for 30 seconds earlier. We saw that rotation. We were a little far away to confirm that, but you're looking at that area of rotation now that is redeveloping on this storm and will be moving through. And let me give you a vantage point, a wide view of this here, Kevin. That is the updraft. This is a supercell thunderstorm that is riding this warm front off to the north and east. You generally don't get storms like this, Kevin. I mean, this is as impressive as they come. It's ticking all of the boxes to be a problem for us here over the next half hour, an hour, as it continues to move on that warm front. This is Oklahoma-like, Kevin. I would expect to see this in Oklahoma. It's not all that often that we see a view like this here in central Illinois, but we've got the view, and we're here with boots on the ground, keeping you updated as the storm starts to move closer towards Effingham County. That area of rotation now just probably 2 miles north and about 7-8 miles west of me, Kevin. Live in the StormTracker. Kevin, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, so, I mean, he's got the view, tornado warned storm. It is right there. It is probably, a few hundred feet off the ground, potentially, that lowering of that cloud base that is right there. So our friends that are down here towards St. Elmo and into Effingham County definitely want to be on the lookout here over the next half an hour to an hour or so, as there is intense rotation on this that is lifting off here to the north and to the east. And so that's what we're going to do. So here's kind of the plan here. So I know some of you are obviously you want to watch your program. We've got tornado warnings that are down here right now, and we're going to continue to tell people about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue our coverage online for you. So what we will do is we're going to go back to programming here in just a moment here, but we are going to continue streaming. It's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on X. It's going to be on our news and weather apps. It's going to be at WCIA.com. So type in WCIA and you can go to those. And we're going to continue some of that streaming on there for the audience that is definitely going to be concerned about this. So here's what we've got right now, parts of Fayette County and heading into Effingham County. Be on the lookout here, and we'll be jumping back in if this thing touches down again, if we get an additional warning off to the east and into Effingham. Again, I will just say, if we do have to go on, I encourage you, if we do have to cover up programming, Paramount Plus app, other ways to watch your programs. It is possible to do that. So just have some backups there in case we do have to go on, because when it comes to safety of our viewers out there, we're going to put that out there and cover things as we need to. All right. In the meantime, we will go back to regular programming, but we could be back. So just prepare for that. Go to our website, go to our social pages to find this continued streaming coverage. In the meantime, we'll send you back to regular programming. That, so you're talking about near St. James and whatnot. Okay, guys, we're back on air here. We have got severe weather, a tornado warning that is now in effect for Effingham County, okay? And so now a tornado warning impacting Effingham County. The Altamont area needs to be taking shelter. St. Elmo and eastern portions of Fayette County needs to be taking shelter because we have some clear rotation on the storm. Storm spotters have been down there, getting reports actually of some damage that occurred into Fayette County with this storm. And we have Jacob Dickey that is down there live on the storm, showing us the views right there with boots on the ground, giving us the views of what's happening, the skies that are obviously looking very ominous down that way. And we've got a lot of people, a lot of viewers that watch us down in Effingham County and are curious about this and want to know what's going on. So we're here on the air to give you the latest. And so here we go. Jacob is down there. Let's see if we can bring him in. Jacob, are you now kind of north of St. James? What's your position there? And show us what you've got.
Yeah, hey Kevin, just something to think about. We may want to get the Effingham camera pointed in this direction too as this moves in this way. Yeah, I'm in the county line. I'm about due east of St. James now. 1300 Avenue, East 1300 Avenue, that's the Fayette County side. On the Effingham County side, it's 100th Avenue. And so that gives you an idea of where I'm moving. And this area of rotation is to my left. To me, it's hard to tell if there's two areas that are trying to form or if one's maybe occluding at this point, but I can see the turbulence here. And what I'll do in about a mile or so is I'll stop once I get a clearer view off to the west, as we'll be looking right into it as it moves into Effingham County here. This storm earlier produced a tornado in Fayette County, according to the National Weather Service. A spotter on the ground saw it touch down for 30 seconds. We saw the strong rotation. We were a little far away from it to make out if it was in the ground, but as you were saying, some of those reports coming out of Fayette County. So this is going to be an issue as we continue to see this storm slowly move off to the north and to the east here. One thing, it's 7:18 right now. I think sunset time is in about a half an hour, so we'll get another 45 minutes or an hour of daylight. But the lightning has been pretty impressive with this for a while too, Kevin, and so that's something that we are continuing to see. Nothing standing out as imminent, but there's definitely some turbulence underneath that, and that's something that we're going to be keeping a very close eye on here, as this is probably about 4 or 5 miles west of the Effingham County line, generally moving in the direction towards Altamont. Kevin, live in the StormTracker east of St. James, southwest of Altamont. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you.
Okay, so you're over there. You're going to have that vantage point of this, just to kind of let people know, again, some tornado safety precautions if you're down there. If we kind of look at your house, okay, and we kind of break it down, with this kind of 3D view here, center part of your house is where you want to go. Not on the outer edges. You want to put many walls between you and the outside as possible. So some people don't have a basement, so, a hallway, closet, something there in the middle underneath a staircase there, but you don't want to be anywhere near those outside walls, so you need to be, again, lowest level. If you've got a basement, that's obviously going to be a great option for you, but not everybody has that. Because of the slow movement of the storm, you're going to have some time to take shelter, and these are some of the worst places to be. That's going to be in your car, mobile home, under an overpass. You don't want to do that. Bad places like large open rooms near an outside wall, manufactured housing, you want to try to get out. The great place, interior room, center part of your house, bathroom with no windows. Obviously the best place is going to be in a tornado shelter, safe room, or a basement. So that's definitely some of the places you want to seek shelter at, and that's going to be for our friends from St. Elmo to Altamont here, okay? All right, I want to go back to Jacob. Looks like he might have a funnel cloud that he's showing us here from his view. Jacob, you're trying to, I know, get in position there, but let's kind of show you here on radar where we're at with the storm. starting to pick up maybe a little bit more of the movement here to the north and east. This is going to be right on the Effingham and Fayette County line. Jacob, we've got your view there. We'll take you full. You're right there on the storm. That might be it, trying to form.
Yeah, so Kevin, right in here I'm seeing a lot more turbulence underneath that and a lot of rising motion. I'm a little far away to see if it's rotating, but there is some clear motion. Let me zoom in a little bit more here because I can see right there what is likely going to be where, if a tornado comes down, where we're at. This is going to be about 3 or 4 miles northwest of us here. We are currently on the Effingham and Fayette County line looking into it here. And kind of tightening up in there as I look. Ooh, that's some lightning. That was right there. As I zoom out a little bit to kind of give you some vantage point, this is the updraft of the storm right here, and then on the backside, this is where I think we're seeing some surging wind trying to come around, and that's helping to tighten it up right in there where we're giving an eye on it there, and you can see that little pinprick coming down, Kevin. So that's something that I think we're going to want to watch very closely here. And yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just having them take your shot full there.
All right, so yeah, that's good. It's right in this area, and I can see, notice that dark color to the left there, that darker shading. That's trying to wrap around. Sometimes that can tighten things up. So I think what I may need to do is with that rear flank downdraft, tightening up that area of rotation, I may need to keep north to keep a vantage point because that could cut off the view for me, but there is certainly some decent rotation, some upward motion in this storm as it's getting closer and closer to the county line, Kevin. Why don't I set it back to you, and I'm going to keep working my way to the north. Kevin?
Okay. All right. So it looks like that, again, we're watching our storm that is here. If, guys, I just want to make sure that we've got my audio here. Still kind of coming through. We've got this tornado warning that is in effect for Fayette and Effingham County. There is the view that you're getting there from Jacob and the StormTracker. You can see this thing is coming between St. Elmo and St. James, and then you've got Altamont here right along I-70 and US 40 where that storm is continuing to push off there to the north and east. Circulation is starting to maybe strengthen just a little bit more. This is coming into the western portions of Effingham County as we speak. The rotation probably closer to the St. James area in the last few scans. We'll try to show you that. And so here's what we're looking at with these kind of colors. So there's St. Elmo, there's St. James. So this is where some of that rotation is. And that's going to be coming right there along the county line in the next few minutes or so, and just south of the interstate at this point. And these storms have been kind of cycling kind of back and forth. So what you've got on the upper right-hand corner of your screen is Jacob's view. We've got the Effingham camera that's pointed there to the south and to the west. And I just heard Jacob. Jacob, go ahead, Jacob.
Let me back in here. Directly to my west is a new area of rotation farther to the south. Once I back in here, I just kind of glanced over and saw this tightening up. Let me reposition. I can still see that area to the north, but where I'm located is right by it here. Look at this right here. This little feature is starting to spin and pick up a little bit. And I'm about, let's see here, due west of St. James, about 4 miles south of I-70, and that's going to be coming really close to where we are here. Just that caught my eye as something trying to spin up there. Can you see that motion in there, Kevin?
Yeah, it looks like there's some pretty decent winds that are right there. Just you're probably going to get some strong winds in the next couple of minutes. It's the rotation and some of the winds on the velocity on that are pretty impressive. So you might get a real dust up of winds here just in the next minute or two as that kind of comes at you. But yeah, that's definitely something to keep an eye on there. It's literally right on the county line. I think you're on the county line right now, right?
That's right, yeah, and checking out my radar scope here, again, it's kind of, this is maybe that southern spot. Wow, that's moving really quick right there. You can see that lighter color cloud. It will be passing very close to me here as it moves off. Urge it around, I can see the Rain curtains wrapping around here, so we've got this spot. There's another one a little further up, but this is starting to increase with rotation right here, and going to be really close as we watch this move on through. So looks like it's also out spotting, so that's something that we're going to keep an eye on here for a little bit. Kevin, I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, looks like you got K9 unit rolling up there. Somebody else there spotting there with you, probably from local law enforcement. Let's keep his shot up there because I just want to watch his view there as that storm kind of comes right over the top of him, and. We're not seeing, a specific lowering that's right there, but boy, that's going to be some really strong winds, and that's coming right there into western portions of Effingham County, the southwest kind of portion of Effingham County. So you're talking about, the Altamont area down towards Gilmore, south central FS is kind of down that way. Tornado sirens are kind of going off. Some other things that are down kind of that way. You've got Countryside Disposal that's kind of right there along the county line there of Fayette and Effingham County. But Altamont need to be kind of on the lookout as that storm is heading in your direction. Again, we've got a tornado warning that is in effect. That is a live view of the storm coming into southwestern parts of Effingham County right now. That's a view from the StormTracker with Jacob. He's got to watch that carefully there because if that thing kind of tightens up any bit more, then you might have a tornado that could develop in that area. So he's giving us the view. This is going to be south and east of St. Elmo, or I should say of St. James is kind of his location there, and that is moving on the south side, could be moving towards the south side of Altamont. So you're probably going to have some strong winds that pick up in the next minute or so because those winds are kind of right on top of you. Jacob, go ahead, tell us what you're seeing there.
So the rotation that I was looking at is right now just on the right side of your screen. Back up here in a way to give you a better talk to the Fayette County Sheriff. His name, I believe, is Ronnie Stevens, and he stopped and told me that they do have some damage south of St. Peter. He didn't have any information. He didn't know what happened, but he was on his way there, and I'm feeling the wind wrapping around from the backside, as you were saying, and I can see those rain curtains starting to move on in. So my next plan is... Okay,
we've got Jacob there. I know he's
through. So Kevin?
Yeah, thank you.
I'll send it back to you, Kevin.
All right, yeah, continuing to work those audio kind of issues there, but he's got the view. We've got him on the StormTracker, and we have got him in the perfect position to be able to kind of see something here. The rotation on that storm, trying to, pick up a little bit. We're definitely keeping a very close eye on it. The Weather Service has issued that tornado warning. The rotation from that is going to be coming there between St. Elmo and Altamont, and that's precisely the location that he is at. So what I want to try to do is, because I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a view of what this thing is doing in terms of rotation on it, so you kind of have an idea of where it is. And so what we'll do here is, if we can, we'll take the Max 2 back full here, and I just want to show you the areas of concern. And so rotation is right there on the county line. There's Altamont, St. Elmo. Again, the rotation is very close to where Jacob is. He's going to get caught up in some of the rain here, and he'll have to get ahead of it. Good news is that he'll be able to do so because of the slow movement of the storm itself. But that storm is going to be tracking towards Altamont, and eventually it could be towards Effingham. So let's go back to our Effingham camera. And so if you're in Effingham, you can kind of look off there to the west, and you'll see that view of the storm as it is going to be approaching you. So we're going to have eyes there from our camera. That's kind of looking there to the south and west at the split there with 70 and 57. And that's kind of exactly where this might be going. That could come right there on maybe the south side of Effingham at 57 and towards 70. So we're going to watch that carefully. The tornado warning continues for Effingham County. And this storm now, I would say the rotating part of the storm is now technically in Effingham County, where the biggest concern is. So just leaving Fayette County now, and is now technically in Effingham County and going to be south of Altamont. So you need to be in your tornado safe spot. If you are in Altamont right now, this storm is heading right in your direction. The rotation on this has picked up and continues to show signs of maybe a little bit of strengthening. So we've got to watch this as this comes right in, okay? South side of Altamont, right along I-70 and US 40 as well. Just kind of looking down the line, Dexter, be paying attention, okay? Over towards Funkhauser, be paying attention with this storm. It could be difficult to sometimes see some of this because we get basically rain that kind of obscures the view sometimes of a tornado, so it can sometimes be a little tough to see it sometimes. The rotating part of the storm is just south and west of Altamont. It's moving to the north and to the east, and it's moving at a slower pace. I believe at last check it was let's see here, 30 miles an hour. So we're moving to the northeast at 30 miles an hour. If there is something, it's going to come in to maybe the south side there of Altamont. Be in your tornado safe spot right now. You want to take shelter immediately. If you are in western portions of Effingham County, the rotating part of the storm, it's right here. You can see it right there. There it is as it moves off to the north and east. It's going to be right along US 40 and Interstate 70. In the next few minutes there. And then there's Dexter, there's Funkhauser there on the far eastern part of the screen there. But as this continues to move to the north and east, you need to be right there in the lowest level of your home, taking shelter there. You can see where Effingham is located. You're technically not in the warning, so you may not have sirens going off just yet. But there it is. Right there on now the Fayette-Effingham County line. Of course, Altamont, kind of the further western town there in Effingham County. Let's come back to Jacob here. He's trying to get us a view of the storm. He's right on the edge of this thing. We'll go ahead and take his shot full. And Jacob, what do you got?
Yeah, so Kevin, that area of rotation, the main one there is just north. I saw what looked like to be a funnel halfway down as I was driving east. Of course, I couldn't get a great camera shot, but there's some movement in there. There definitely is. And then, as I whip around this curve real fast here, I can see the rear flank downdraft wrapping in. That is basically winds in the back side that can help to tighten that rotation. So as I turn this just ever so slightly for you here, bear with me as I move, see that area of rain on the back side? That's helping to keep this tightened up as it's moving closer and closer to Altamont. I know we got some viewers that will recognize this church. I've got some viewers that live in this area that send me some pictures every so often of this. And to give you a reference point, we're about 3 miles south of Altamont right now. And this church you see is stay with me here, the Bethlehem Lutheran Church that's moving on, and moving just northwest of this is where that rotation is in the direction. So I'm kind of fighting the rear flank downdraft, but this thing is trying hard, Kevin, at this point. It's on the warm front. It looks favorable at this point as it's now in Effingham County. I can say all clear in Fayette County, but this is now an Effingham County issue. And Altamont running out of time here. I can see Altamont, just to give you a vantage point, this road is north. On the right side is Altamont. This rotation coming right over town here in just a number of minutes here, Kevin. Live in the Altamont area in Effingham County, I'm Jacob Dickey. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Jacob, thanks. Appreciate the update there. Guys, if you can, I'm going to fire up over there on the chroma key, if that's possible, to have that. And I'm going to jump over there and kind of give you guys another kind of vantage point of things and kind of analyze things a little bit more in terms of kind of what we're dealing with here. And so, again, I just want to show you kind of the wider view of everything. If you're in Champaign, if you're in Danville, if you're in Decatur and Springfield, obviously not much going on, but we've got down here to Effingham County, a lot of viewers that watch us down there, so we want to bring you this coverage. And we zoom in on our storm. There's Effingham, there's Altamont, but let's come down even more into this thing. So here's Altamont. This is going to be potentially where your hail is going to be. When we look at the velocity in this, here's your rotation. Okay, concern is for Altamont in the immediate few minutes here. And then down the line, there's Dexter and there's Funkhauser. to the south and west, and right along I-70 and US 40, that rotation is continuing. So please, if you are down there right now, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. This is the area of concern as that rotation is still present. It's been there for quite some time. This is what we call a discrete supercell, one that can develop a tornado, and it may do it fairly quickly. Again, just off the screen, you can kind of barely see it. So 57 and 70 here on the west side of Effingham is where this could eventually be going towards. So we want to give our viewers that are down there a view of this storm. So Jacob, if we can, let's pull up your view once again. You're getting real close to that storm. What are you seeing? Any tightening of that circulation?
Yeah, Kevin, we're coming right up to it here. This is the circulation in front of me. A lot of turbulence, especially with this wrapping in. I'm about to go over the Interstate 70 bridge here. This is a half a mile southwest of Altamont, moving on in. Nothing that says tornado at this point that I can see, but it is trying. There's a lot of movement on that. Can you see that turbulence in that shot there, Kevin? This is maybe a few hundred yards in front of me. We're safely in a spot where we're able to see what's going on, but Altamont, this is rolling. Yes, there you go. I am so sorry about that. This is where it is right here. There's Altamont. It's rotating pretty much due over me here at this point. We're on the south side. It's moving northeast, so I feel comfortable where we are. But Altamont, as I turn this view, if something happens, it's going to be right here in front of us before long, Kevin. So again, there's the view. You got that view now? You can see?
Yeah, I can see that now. What's kind of on just to your left there? Is that I couldn't quite tell. That kind of was that just kind of like the leading edge of the shelf there? That's kind of straight in front of you.
Yeah, so that's the rear flank downdraft that's pulling around. I had to cut through that to get on in, but it's definitely turbulent, and I still am keeping my eyes on it to make sure something doesn't develop, but right in front. And as I turn back a little bit here, I'll kind of pull off to the side and whatnot. Very much a scuddy formation that's here on the left side, but nothing imminent to me. I think this is kind of wrapping in to that spot that's now just to my north and east. But you can see how fast that's moving over the road right here, Kevin. Some intense motion. Altamont, your time is up. You've got to be in your shelter. This could produce a tornado at any time. I have not seen that being the case, but there is some strong wind that will be coming into town here with this storm, Kevin. Back to you.
Yeah, you can see the rapid movement there, and I'll let you reposition to get back to where you need to go, but you can see just how fast those clouds are moving here with that storm. So there's Altamont. That's where the tornado potentially could be. There's Dexter still in to the warning here as we speak. And again, just to kind of give you that wider view to bring in Effingham proper here, there's 57 and 70, okay? So they've updated the warning there, so now just this kind of sliver of southwestern Effingham County is where the tornado threat currently exists at this time. Our friends in Effingham, be paying attention here as this continues to move to the north and east. We might have that. Jacob, yep, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, you're going to want to stay on my shot. Rapid rotation over Altamont right now in front of me. We're on the back side. It's moving away from us here, but this is where it would be, and we are right on it. So if something does drop, I can see the McDonald's sign at Altamont, and it's sitting right on top of that. To give you a reference point here, just north of I-70, not by much, but this is the strongest rotation I've seen yet with this storm. Very concerned for Altamont and points to the east now, as I think we're about to have a potential tornado down. So western Effingham County needs to be on guard and ready for this here. I'm going to stop here, Kevin. This is going to drop right in front of us, Kevin.
It's right there. It's right there. You can see some of that rotation there. It's right in front of them. And you can see it right there. You need to be in your tornado safe spot in Altamont. It's the real deal now, people. You need to be lowest level of your home, center part of your house. That whole thing is rotating in front of Jacob. That's a live view from the StormTracker in Altamont, and you can see, boy, Jacob, can you kind of tell us, is it getting kind of windy there?
Yeah, the wind's on my back here. It's breezy. The rear flank downdraft is pulling in. This is strong rotation. And if you want, Kevin, if you could just send the National Weather Service, I'm sure they are aware of this, but it is not going to surprise me if we have a tornado drop down at any time. right over and now moving just east of Altamont here. I'm going to cut into town. Lights are still on. I can still see lights in Altamont, but on the other side of these trees here, this is moving right along the I-70 corridor and is going to be a problem as it moves now towards the Effingham area. Based on what I'm seeing, we will see an extension of this tornado warning before long as this moves down the Interstate 70 off to the east and northeast, Kevin.
Okay, so we're going to continue to watch his view there. Again, this thing super close potentially to producing a tornado right now. Rotation that is over there near Altamont at this time. There's Effingham. As you mentioned, potentially an extension of this, a little bit more to the east, that could occur. So if you're right there, if you're in Effingham, and you were getting ready to try to travel west there on 70 or 40, I would hold back. I'd give it a second. I would not be traveling west into the storm that is going to be heading right towards Effingham potentially. So I would hold off. If you know anybody, friends and family, give them a call. Just kind of let them know because this thing is probably going to ride right along I-70 and US 40 there and kind of coming in there between Altamont and Effingham. Jacob, go ahead.
Yeah, hey Kevin, I just want to get some advice if I can here. I'm thinking about cutting up to US 40. I think that's a better option because there's no exits until you get to Effingham. This is heading towards Dexter and Funkhauser, and that's probably going to give me a better vantage point, but it's right in front of us now, about a mile and a half east of Altamont. The wind has subsided a little bit here in town. It was breezy earlier, but plenty of lightning as this intensifying storm continues to move off to the east. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, probably 40 is probably going to be your bet there. I'd stay on 40 there instead of there onto 70 and have limited access to some of the area roads there. So I would I'd probably hop on 40. I will say this: the rotation is right on top of 40 for what I can tell there, and obviously your vantage point. Let's see. I think so we got the extension now. Effingham County, or Effingham itself, now under the tornado warning. So Effingham, your tornado sirens are going to be going off. Your phones are going to be going off. I'm telling you that we indeed have a new tornado warning that does include Effingham, from Shumway, and that even includes Teutopolis, technically. So Teutopolis, you are under that tornado warning as well. It even does clip far southern portions of Shelby County, just kind of south of the Stewartson area. So if we can, let's come back to Max 2 and we'll show the new warning here, guys. So there is your new warning. That includes Effingham. So that's going to be the green color that you see there on radar. Jacob's going to be getting into that rain now, where he is located. So there is the storm. Just kind of move through Altamont. We'll continue to move off there to the east. Rotation on that is going to be coming into the west side of Effingham. You need to be in your tornado safe spot, basically anywhere between Shumway and Effingham, all the way down to just kind of the south side of town, as this storm is going to ride right along I-70 and US 40 there. So please be in your tornado safe spot. Dexter and Funkhauser, we've been talking about you guys here, but now that rotation is literally kind of on top of you. And we're seeing that here where some of these reds and greens are kind of coming together. Here's your rotation, and definite concern there for the west side of Effingham. Let's take a view from our weather camera in Effingham and kind of see what the view is, because the storm is going to be kind of coming right in there. And I'm going to plot that up here. And okay, so we're starting to see a little bit more of the structure of this storm. And so what I'm going to do here is kind of pan the camera down. And if you guys want to, we'll take this full so I can kind of see this a little bit better. If we can take, yeah, there we go. So that's the storm there coming into the west side. We're looking for any of those little lowerings that could occur for a tornado that could spin up down there, guys. So this is looking right into the storm. We're going to have a fairly good vantage point if there is something there. You can see the Speedway gas station that is there. A lot of those gas stations that are right there along that kind of 57 and 70 interchange. definite concern for a tornado in this area as rotation continues there east of Altamont. So we're kind of looking towards, the Dexter and Funkhauser area with this. And so we've got the view here from our weather camera in Effingham that's showing some of that rotation on the storm. We'll just look for, again, anything there that looks suspicious there on the ground. And we're going to want to be carefully monitoring that there. And then we've got Jacob that's out there in the StormTracker giving us some of those views as well. Jacob, you got a great view. The storm's right in front of you. Let's go to him and his shot. What are you seeing there? You're right underneath it.
Yeah, still seeing that rotation, Kevin. It maybe isn't. I don't want to say that. I think it's still churning, actually, right in front of me. This is going to be right over US 40, about 2 miles east of Altamont now. And I'm going to pull off to the side here because I've got such a great vantage point. There's a little cutoff here, so bear with me as I get far enough off the road to avoid being in traffic. But you can see there's motion there from left to right on the left side of the screen, and then directly in front of me, it's from right to left. So this is rotating right here in front of me, and could produce a tornado anytime, and if it does, we are on it. We are right here, Kevin. Still some intense rotation. I want to say this real quick, Kevin. I was a little surprised driving through Altamont how many people were out and about. Some of the restaurants had people in the drive-through line. It just seemed like it was a random Tuesday there. This is a storm where there has been damage in Fayette County from this. I talked to the Fayette County Sheriff. He said they were responding to some damage in the St. Peter area. We don't want that to happen, but it could happen, and that's going to be an issue now moving towards the Keptown area. We're also going to be watching for the Funkhauser area, the Dexter area, and eventually right into Effingham. Anyone who's got friends watching, maybe you're watching from Champaign or Springfield, if you know someone down here in Effingham County, send them a text message to let them know that we are following this storm and we'll keep them informed. Kevin, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, yeah, good advice there again. Tons of viewers obviously down in Effingham County that are concerned right now. We need you to be in your tornado safe spot where we've got eyes on. That's the good thing. Jacob's on it. We've got the view from our Effingham camera. There are storm spotters on this. The Weather Service monitoring this, and we're looking at it from all angles to see if we see any kind of a lowering there. But the thing, it's going to start to get dark here soon, so we're watching that as well. But if you are over near Dexter and the Funkhauser area, on the west side of Effingham, I would be in your shelter right now because this thing is heading in your direction. That's the view from our weather camera, and that's the view from Jacob, who is just kind of following. The thing is the slow movement of this is allowing him to kind of keep up with it, unlike maybe some other storms that sometimes move so rapidly that it's impossible to kind of stay up with it. Let's zoom in just to give you that view. Effingham County. There's Altamont. Let's go in even more. There's Dexter. That storm going to be coming right into your area here before too long. And you're looking at it there. Funkhauser, US 40, I-70. Let's try to find the rotation here. And so it's going to be right over Dexter. So rotation is probably over the Dexter area here right now and US 40. And heading towards Funkhauser and the west side of Effingham. Be in your tornado safe spot. If you are down here, if you are in Effingham and you are getting ready to travel, west on 70, I would hold up as this storm is literally riding right along the interstate and US 40 at this time. Rotation continues to be seen. We're seeing it here on radar, and Jacob has been consistently watching it from his view in the StormTracker tonight, showing us those very important views of the storm, so we kind of know what's going on. It's one thing for us to tell you what's going on just based upon the radar interpretation, but he actually has the eyes on it to show us what's going on. So we are trying to get the warning out to people down in Effingham, between Dexter, Funkhauser, and Effingham. Right now, that is kind of the most immediate concern that we've got for this storm as it moves off here to the east. So here's the normal kind of reflectivity view that you get. You're going to get some heavy rain associated with the storm, and just kind of give our friends there maybe towards Sigel, southeastern portions there, as you get towards Cumberland County and southeastern parts there of Shelby County, where you're just going to want to be kind of watching things, okay, because this storm is, eventually going to the north and to the east. And so you're not in a warning yet. We just want to give you guys a heads up. Right now, the rotating part of the storm is right along US 40. It is moving to the northeast. So if you're in Funkhauser, that's kind of probably one of the higher areas of concern that we've got here at this point. We have got the vantage point to be able to kind of show you what this looks like from our Effingham camera. As I plot that up there for you again, this is kind of the base there of the cloud. I'm just going to kind of scan this a little bit and take the control and just kind of move it along to see if we see anything that is interesting as far as a lowering of any kind. You're going to have some really heavy rainfall here. Potentially, you're going to have, some hail in there and some of the strongest part of the storm. What you're seeing there is kind of some of the inflow that's coming into the storm, and we're going to watch that general area for the potential for a tornado to form. Jacob is on the storm there. Jacob, what do you got there? And there's a nice little lightning strike. What do you got where you're at right now?
Yeah, hey Kevin, I just passed east of Dexter Road, and just in front of me, some really intense rotation almost over me, off to my north and west, and kind of wrapping in. I'm not sure if it's a new area of circulation, but I could tell that rear flank downdraft is pulling in and helping to give it a nudge here. So we're going to sit here for a minute, just make sure that we're in a good spot, but there is some intense low-level rotation with this storm now near the Dexter Road area on Route 40, and this will continue to move to the east here. Looks like I got a breeze coming in from my west, so I think that's just the rear flank downdraft that I'm seeing effect here. Let me turn this camera point a little bit and give you another vantage point. This is what I'm also kind of watching right here to keep an eye on it, but a lot of turbulence so far. We've not seen anything confirmed touchdown. We've not seen debris. We've not seen damage, anything of that sort, but that doesn't mean that won't change here, and we're going to keep a close eye on it as this continues to move closer into the Effingham area. Kevin, back to you.
Okay, yeah, we'll continue to watch his view there. Jacob, I think the rotation is now going to be north of 40. And yeah, just barely kind of north of 40, I think, and going to be going maybe kind of towards the northwest side of Effingham if this thing would not take a turn, but that's where some of that rotation probably is located. So there is our view from our weather camera here in Effingham. You can see kind of that cloud base there that we're watching, and I'm just keeping a close eye on this area here because this is where we would see something potentially if we had any kind of a lowering or a tornado to form. But it does look like maybe some of that rotation is probably going to be just north of 40 and I-70 and coming into the west side of Effingham in the next few minutes or so. So stay in your tornado safe spot. If you are in the city of Effingham right now, I would not be traveling there, south on 57 or west on 70 there just yet, because we want to, give you guys the clear there in Effingham before we do anything there and leave you guys down there, because this thing, it's low to the ground. This whole time, Jacob's been watching the storm and the position of it. The rotation has been fairly consistent. And again, we did have some damage into Fayette County a little bit earlier as the storm was coming through. And so this storm has got that same history associated with it. Just to kind of give you this kind of wide view, I'll just zoom it out just a little bit, and you can see a little bit more of that storm structure. But we've got inflow coming into this part of the storm, winds that are kind of wrapping in and kind of feeding it. And this is what we're going to watch out for, guys. This area here, and just kind of scanning things back and forth. They're on the west side of Effingham. If you're there right now, be in your tornado safe spot. Lowest level of your home is where you want to be. Center part of your house. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Shumway to Effingham. That's where the tornado warning is located here at this time. Wide view. Again, I know there's a ton of people that are not being impacted here in some of our other cities, but we've got Effingham here that is under a tornado warning right now with this storm. So we want to warn everybody between Shumway and Funkhauser. Rotation on this. You can see where I-57 is. That kind of snakes its way around and meets up with 70 here on the west side of Effingham. But right now, here's Shumway, there's Funkhauser, obviously Effingham here. When we look at where the rotation could be within the storm, now that looks to be, again, near Funkhauser. and then moving here to the north and east, and going to be coming up here on the west side of Effingham. And we zoom in even closer, so you've got 32 that comes out of Effingham there on the west side of town, and then of course that goes back there to the north and west towards Shumway, and eventually kind of curves around there to Beecher City. So we want to watch this whole area, but right now the rotation is Funkhauser and the west side of Effingham. This storm is heading in your direction right now. So here's the view from our reflectivity. You're probably going to have some very heavy rainfall there. Shumway south there, you've got East 1600th Avenue between Shumway down to Funkhauser. In the Dexter area, the red is going to be your heavy rainfall and potentially some hail. What we have to do is dissect this thing and then look at the velocity, which is these kind of reds and greens that can come together to show us rotation within the storm. And that rotation, again, probably more over the Funkhauser area, lifting to the north and east, and probably is going to, from what I'm seeing here, probably going to pass between maybe Shumway and Effingham as this kind of goes to the north and to the east, and maybe here on the northwest side of town. So probably somewhere kind of in this general area here is where that could go. But and the Lake Sarah area, that's right, Lake Sarah, in that area, that's kind of, I think, where some of that rotation might be. You know, as long as this thing doesn't turn anymore, you know, if it would make a right turn, it'd come into Effingham. But right now I'm not seeing signs of that occurring, but the rotation is there. What I want to do is I'm going to come back over to our weather camera here in Effingham. That gives us that view of the storm as it's coming in. Again, pretty low cloud base there. As things are starting to get a little bit darker, I'm just going to zoom this out just a little bit, just to kind of get a full perspective. So there's our storm, west side of town, and we're zoomed in here just to give you that view to see if there's anything there. This would be where you would potentially have, you know, a tornado that could form underneath this kind of lowering cloud base that is there. Jacob is on the storm with us, giving us the views from the StormTracker there. Just still concerned. Jacob, you've got a view of the storm, kind of, boy, that thing's low to the ground. Boy, that thing is low to the ground there. What do you got?
Yeah, Kevin, I ended up cutting ahead of this area of rotation because I felt like it was moving to my north, and that's in the case of what's happening here. That's going to be the area of rotation close to the ground. Now, one thing to note is because we're far enough away from the radar, sometimes it can be hard to see look closer to the ground, and so this visual view is really giving me confidence that if something is going to touch down, it's going to be right in there. And the camera can even sometimes help us make out what's going on. I can still see some rotation there to my north and west. I'm on Funkhauser Road. I'm going to be close to the Effingham Country Club, just south and east of the Lake Sarah area. This is going to be by Steve's Liquor and Snacks, if you're familiar with that. We're north of there, looking to the north and west. And so if this continues, yeah, maybe this is more of a northwest Effingham County issue. But I think everywhere, northern Effingham, I should say issue, but I think everywhere in the city of Effingham should still shelter in case it does make one of those right turns. Slow moving. One thing I do think, Kevin, is I do think that maybe the nighttime will actually help things stabilize a little more. That might lower the tornado threat, but if not, we're here. We're going to keep you updated from the studio and, of course, here in the StormTracker in the Effingham area. Kevin, I'll go ahead and send it back to you as we're going to reposition more to the north here. We're looking right over Lake Sarah, some pretty strong rotation. Interesting little feature popping up there as well in the middle there. Kevin, can you see that? Yeah,
I see that there. I mean, it looks decent there on radar, so we'll stay with your shot there. You're giving us the view. If something is going to happen, it's right in your spot there. So again, you're talking about, you know, northwest sides of Effingham. It's over, you know, over Lake Sarah here right now, and this thing is probably going to pass there, you know, over 33 and as it goes to the north and east of Lake Sarah. But you're on the view there. You're giving us the view. And yeah, like you said, sometimes when the sun sets, you lose some of the energy and what we call instability there from the storms. And that does seem to be potentially the case. I don't see a lot of instability kind of north of your area there. It's a little bit better to the south. But that sometimes can cut things off, which would limit the tornado risk. But we're not out of the woods yet, as this thing is still showing those rotation signs. I got to do something here just real quick here, Jacob. If we can, come back to me here. And so we've got the view of the storm in Effingham from our weather camera here as well. We're looking off here to the west. Again, I just kind of keep trying to peer into this thing to see if there's anything of interest that piques my curiosity a little bit. So far, I mean, you saw that lightning strike that is there. Not seeing anything immediately, but definitely keeping a close eye on this area here. And now it's getting dark. It's going to get tougher to see this thing, but something to watch. Okay, just real quick, as Jacob repositions, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, and I want to include our friends that are over in Christian County with a separate cell that has developed here. And we want to talk about southern Christian County that now has a a severe thunderstorm warning. And so this is going to be southeastern portions of Christian County with the new severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. And of course, that includes Montgomery County as well, right over Nokomis. And that thing maybe even, has some signs of rotation. And I think there might even be a tornado possible tag on that. Let me just look at it. Severe thunderstorm warning moving to the north and to the east. Therefore, Montgomery County, and it looks like into Christian County, severe thunderstorm there over Nokomis, moving to the north and east. And so we might have some hail in there, but I would not rule out maybe some rotation with that cell as well, just to the north of Nokomis. We want to be watching that. Right now, the biggest concern, again, is Effingham, so we'll come back to that cell there. That thing's trying to, it's got a little bit more of a hook shape to it there, Jacob. They're on the west side of town now. A little bit more of a little notch trying to show up. So kind of watching that there. So hope if this thing can continue to go to the north and east, it would miss through the middle of Effingham as long as it doesn't make that right turn. But it seems to be ramping up just a little bit there. Jacob, I don't know. Can you confirm any of that there for me? And I know you're trying to reposition some stuff there, but we'll come to him in just a second. But I don't know that anytime we start to get a little bit more of a kind of a notch showing up in there, sometimes you can get more of that rotation. Inflow into the storm looks a little bit better. I definitely on the west side of town be paying attention there in Effingham as that storm is maybe going through another one of those little cycles again. I want to come back over to my Effingham camera here once again. We're looking at it as it's going to be, we're going to have a view of this thing. So stay with us here, folks. We're going to have a view of this if this thing decides to drop a tornado here. So the lightning is picking up a little bit. We've got Jacob there as well. That is repositioning to kind of get back ahead of this a little bit and show us the view. But this is our view looking west of Effingham at the storm. Yes, it's getting a little bit darker. Tough to see things here as darkness is falling upon us. A much harder view of things. Again, just kind of panning across this whole storm, this whole supercellular storm, mesocyclone that is coming into the west side of Effingham. Okay, guys, lowering of the cloud base here and the potential for a tornado to form on the west side of Effingham coming across I-70 and I-57. Definitely be in your tornado safe spot there, guys. If you are on the west side of Effingham, the northwest side of Effingham, as this storm is coming right in your general direction, it looks obviously very dark and ominous. You're going to get a little lightning flash here that is going to illuminate the clouds there a little bit. As you can see, and anytime you get an intensification of the lightning, that can often be an indicator of a strengthening storm that is occurring. The rotation on this, again, western portions of Effingham right there along 57. As we're seeing that north of US 40, so it is north of 40 where we're seeing some of that rotation, and this thing probably going to kind of curve, on the curve that occurs there. If you're coming on, 70 and it kind of curves back to the south there, that's kind of the general location of what we're looking at here with this storm. Jacob, I know that you're trying to reposition out there. I heard you potentially ask maybe for some advice on where to go. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey Kevin, to give you an idea, I'm going to be coming up to Fayette and 70 here in a minute. I'm kind of wondering if maybe the best option here is to get over to 45 and take the interstate around. You mentioned about the strengthening. Lightning has ticked up with this. There's been more notable cloud-to-ground lightning, and that's one thing that sticks out to me as strengthening. For the most part, though, I think this is northwest of downtown at this point, and it's going to be hard to get it into the downtown. So South Banker Street, south by the airport, I think you're okay. From downtown north and downtown west, really watching you closely here at this point. Here you can kind of see where I'm at now. The BP stations here, you've got the some of those gas stations on Fayette, where I'm coming into here. So, Kevin, do you think I should just hop in the interstate and loop around real fast to 45 north?
Yeah, that's not a horrible idea. I would definitely try to stay there on 45 and kind of see what you can get, but I'll let you kind of reposition there. The rotation on this is definitely on the northwest side of town more than anything. It's on the northwest side. Okay, we can see it right here. So there's Effingham itself, and I can zoom in to even and plot on some of the streets. So you've got, of course, Evergreen Avenue. That's right there. So there's 1400 there in 4th Street. The Avenue of Mid-America. This is the general area where the rotation is. So, 57 that comes down that connects with 70 eventually. But it is definitely north and west of downtown Effingham itself, the rotating part of this storm. So this is going to come up there along 45. Jacob, you got a view there? What do you got?
Yeah, so we just kind of turned onto the interstate to peek north here because we can get a vantage point. You can see we're looking right now into where that area of rotation is from my vantage point. Again, I'm on Fayette Avenue on the northbound on-ramp here, just west of Nienberg's. Nienberg Steakhouse is to my right. The Holiday Inn is there, so we're looking north towards the, that's going to be the Route 33. Keller Drive up that way, straight in front of us. That the lights you see on the bottom of this clouds is Keller Drive, and so from this vantage point, if we see something, we're losing daylight. The lights from Keller Drive are helping, but also lightning will help. And then if there's any sort of, okay, I think it's going to be behind that sign there on the left side. Maybe I'm kind of able to see a little bit. If there's any sort of power disruption from the sky cam, you might see it northwest, or we'll see it as well from this vantage point. So I'm going to wait a couple of minutes here, let it pass by, and then I'll sneak over to 45 and head north, Kevin. But we're looking right into where the storm is, an intense supercell, I don't think we're done yet, so we got to keep an eye here for Effingham. Eventually to the north and east, Green Creek. Going to watch out for you up by the rest area, Lilyville. Keep an eye on you, Roslyn. Keep an eye on you, Spring Point Township, and maybe even towards Sigel and the northern side there. We'll be watching those areas really closely here, Kevin. Live in the StormTracker on Fayette and 5770 in Effingham. I'm Jacob Dickey. Send it back to you.
Okay, I want to go ahead and, if we can, let's take the tower cam here on Max 2 full, because we're getting that view there. So this is what we're looking at. If there is something, we want to look for maybe any power flashes or something, obviously down there on the bottom part of the screen. Again, this coming in kind of the north and west side of town. You can kind of see that that lowering that's right there in the middle part of your screen, where that rotation would be located with the storm. Again, it will become difficult to see something because with darkness kind of coming in here, but we want to try to give you that view the best that we can for as long as we can, because this thing, again, coming there on the northwest side of Effingham where some of that rotation is located, and going to be kind of coming up there to the north side, and then right along there, I'll just say this again, Sigel, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Sigel, I would just kind of be on the lookout in the next few minutes. We'll see if the Weather Service continues the warning or not back to the north and east, which potentially could be there into Cumberland County. If we can, pull up Jacob's shot there once again. Jacob, what are you seeing?
Yeah, so we're looking at the back side of the storm, Kevin. I can see up on Keller Drive where that rotation is, and the rain curtain's wrapping around there. You probably see the same thing from the sky cam, but a great vantage point here on the back side of the storm. And we can hear the sirens as well going off in Effingham as the storm continues to move to the north and east. No signs of anything on the ground, but if there's something, it'll be right in front of us. Keller Drive, northwest side. There you can see in the lightning, that bottom left side there is where there could be a developing tornado at this point, kind of tucked in there. And so we'll keep an eye on this for a bit more. Kevin, back to you.
Yeah, once again, could be difficult to see anything. I hear the sirens there. We just got note that Effingham County, Effingham Fire, just set off the sirens for a second time, as he put it to us here. So the second time that they've set off the sirens in Effingham, so that's why those are going off once again. If you are on the northern and western sides of Effingham, still stay in your safe spot. You've got some pretty good rotation that's showing up there near Keller Drive and 57, as Jacob was kind of mentioning there. That's the view. The flashing that you're seeing there, so our weather camera here is located on the hospital there in Effingham. So that's actually the light for the helicopter that comes in. So that's what that kind of flashing is. So we'll do our best to, as we try to pan it around, we're eventually going to see that light kind of come in there. I'll just kind of warn you. So that's what that is there for them to be able to obviously land the helicopters and whatnot that kind of come in there from an aviation standpoint. So we're looking right at this storm. Jacob is on the storm there. Rotation on the storm is still obviously present. That's why the tornado warning is still in effect. Let's kind of show you what we've got in terms of the radar view. And I just want to come back over here into Christian County and just talk about, boy, this storm out here has got some hail in it. This is going to be down here. That is going to be coming there into the southeastern portions of Christian County. It's going to be well west of Pana, but north of Nokomis. Some very large hail is within that. And we haven't been able to talk to you guys a bunch because we've had the concern for some of these tornadic storms that we're watching. So we'll come back over here, but just a heads up there into southeastern Christian County, there may be some hail located within that. Okay, the updated view there. So you've got Green Creek, and then there's Sigel that's up here. So we're watching these areas here where there could be some of that rotation in the storm. And still seeing some of those stronger winds there, where you've got some of those roads that are popping up. You've got Lilyville there. You want to be taking shelter. Roslyn as well. You just kind of watching this. So far, the Weather Service not continued the warning there to the north and east here just yet. But the rotation is now north of town. It looks like most of the rotation is now north of town there, and probably just north of I-70. So I know it gets kind of confusing here with how 57 and 70 kind of come in there, but it is kind of on the northern portion here, on the north side of town, north of Evergreen, where that is, but now going to be kind of riding up there along I-57. So here's Green Creek. Here's where 57 and 70 kind of come together there, the interchange there on the north side of town. That's the area where the rotation is located, just kind of west of that. So be in your tornado safe spot, northern side of town, and still watching these areas here just north of Effingham and Sigel, just west of you. That's probably going to be some pretty good hail in that purple color area, and well east of Shumway there, but between Shumway, Lilyville, Sigel, that's the rotating part of the storm, and where you probably have some of that hail that is associated with this storm as well. Just kind of talking to with the Weather Service. Okay, so the Weather Service is going to continue a severe thunderstorm warning for this cell, not opting the tornado warning for the cell. That is going to be going into portions of Cumberland County here, and southeastern portions of Shelby County. So we're going to wait for that to warning and see if that kind of changes anything here, their decision on that. But right now, and I would concur, because there it is. So it just popped up. So that's now the orange box. That includes Neoga. It includes Sigel, Lilyville, Roslyn, and then it does include Toledo kind of well down the line. Right now, the highest concern, north side of Effingham. I'll tell you this, if you are in, kind of Effingham, city there proper, you're looking good there as the storm is going to be passing to your north now. So things are looking a lot better for downtown Effingham. That's some good news for you folks that are there. If you are basically south of I-70, now you're in the clear here now, it looks like. If you're south of I-70, I think things are looking okay for you. But Green Creek, if you're Green Creek there, to, right there along 45 north there of where the interchange is, that is definitely an area of concern. Jacob was just saying in my ear that he thinks possibly a funnel cloud there that might be seen there on 45. I know he's okay, so north of Effingham, he's saying a funnel there that was still being seen. And he's kind of getting caught up. Obviously, if you've been in Effingham, you know the traffic there, and a lot of the roads can be a little more difficult to kind of navigate and get through. But he was saying that he saw potentially a funnel there that was pretty clear with that north of Effingham, and so he is going to be positioning himself there to see a view. Did you say you saw a power flash, Jacob, or?
We just had a power hit here. Hey, Kevin, I don't know if you can hear me. We just had a power hit here at 57 and 45. That cone-shaped funnel, I could make it out just to the right of the road here. But one of the issues is with that power hit, suddenly, it's a little harder to see at this point, but signs that maybe some sort of wind damage here, trying to make out if there's anything, but we did lose power at the quick trip and 45 and 5770 on the north side, but I could see that cone funnel as I was getting off the interstate from the lights. When the lights went out, I couldn't make it out as anymore, but it's about just on the right side of the screen where it was, and sticking down about a third of the way to the ground, and so we'll keep an eye on it, but moving north on 45, Kevin, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, yeah, so Jacob's going to be there going north on 45 to try to catch up with the storm there and maybe get a little bit of a better view. Obviously, now we're at the mercy of lightning lighting up the clouds to be able to see the structure of the storm. So this is north of Effingham and to Topless right now, but Sigel, I would be worried for our friends there, Green Creek to Sigel right now, and anybody there along 45 and then 57 there going northward. That's kind of the path this is taking. So let's kind of show you over the last 30 minutes the movement of this storm, so you can kind of see it. Again, this is the one cell that we're watching, and it's that one, and then we've got another one that we're kind of keeping an eye on here into Christian County, and then some other ones are trying to develop here a little bit more to the north, but there might be some hail, and we're going to have to continue to watch our cell here into southeastern portions of Christian County. We'll be keeping a close eye on that one, south of Locust and the Ullman area, and west of Pana, that storm is. So we're watching that, and then our cell that's kind of been the one this whole time that's shown intense signs of rotation for much of the afternoon into the evening hours here. So if you're in Sigel, heavy rainfall, rotating part of that storm could be coming in. But right now, they just have the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. So I'm going to say this to our folks there. Per our policy, what we do is we stay on for tornado warnings for our area, but we will continue our coverage on our social media. So the folks back at the control room here, we're going to be sending things back to regular programming here in just a moment as they have basically brought the warning down. Now, it's still a severe thunderstorm warning with what is known as a tornado possible tag, which means, yes, the storm has got hail, winds, there could be a tornado in there. Confidence is a little bit lower, so they opt with the severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. It's kind of how they do things. So we've got a bunch of coverage that's still online, WCIA.com. It's going to be on our news and weather apps. Facebook, social media pages there. You can find all of it there. That's where things are going to continue. If this thing ramps up, if Jacob comes across a confirmation of a tornado, we're going to jump back on. But I'll just tell you, our friends in Sigel, to Neoga, and we'll just say Toledo to kind of include everything. Just kind of be watching things here over the next half an hour or so. We're going to be watching things for you. And if you want the continuing coverage, go to all those places that I just mentioned, and we will continue to inform you guys of what is going on. But right now, no more tornado warnings, so we transition to our digital coverage now. All right, thanks for joining us here. We now send you back to our regular programming.
That is kind of what we're dealing with here. So we are watching this. The warning goes.
Okay, we're back here with you live. We are back here with you live on television now. And the reason that we are back here with you once again is because we have a confirmed tornado from the National Weather Service, confirmed tornado warning that they have issued here. And this does include parts of Cumberland and Coles County. So you're going to have potentially tornado sirens that are going off down there from Trilla to Lerna. They have a confirmed tornado that they have issued with this new warning here. The rotation on this is going to be located basically south and east of Neoga. Is where we have some of that rotation. So we are here back on the air with you once again because the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning, and it is the one where they say confirmation. And so there is concern there with that. So we're watching it here. If you are basically from Neoga over to Neal, this tornado would be very close to you near the Neal area, between Neal and Trilla, Johnstown, south and west of Janesville. Neoga right now, you're technically not in the warning itself. But this is going to be just to your south, and it's moving to the north and east. And so the rotating part of the storm are located right there, okay? And you can see Trilla, that is there on your weather map. That is an area of concern between Trilla there and then stretching there back to the east. As we're talking about, places like Janesville and Campbell there on the northern kind of end of this. You've got Lerna, that is up north and east of Trilla, that technically also is going to be in that warning. So we're watching the rotating part of this storm that is showing up here, guys, and the concern is definitely continuing here in terms of that here tonight. Jacob's been out there in the StormTracker, and he's had eyes on this. He's been following this thing the whole way. And, Jacob, we were talking about, before we came on the air, how this warning, according to the Weather Service, kind of coming in as a result of a video that they got of a funnel that you actually spotted when we were on the air a little bit earlier. Talk a little bit about that. You're positioned on the storm. There is rotation there, but I think they're obviously being very, very cautious on this, issuing this confirmed tornado based upon some of that video. Would you agree?
Yeah, Kevin, it's very possible that this was on the ground, maybe briefly in Effingham. When I was by the Quick Trip, we did lose power for a brief second. I saw no evidence of damage. We've not heard anything from Effingham County. And I think that's what's driven them to issue this tornado warning. And from where I'm at, Kevin, to me, the storm itself looks like it's maybe moving north of the warm front. We're still in that zone where perhaps it could cause an issue, but I have not seen evidence of a tornado in the last 10 or 15 minutes. That doesn't mean one's not been there, because it's dark and maybe I haven't had the best vantage point kind of fighting through some of these trees, but we're making our way now to move north towards the Trilla area. We're coming into the Roslyn, the township office here, south of Mattoon, Charleston, and Cumberland County, and we'll snake our way north. About to turn north on Montrose Road here and make our way back towards the Mattoon area. So I think that's what this is. I don't want to say there's no tornado.
Okay, so
this exact moment, it's hard to see in the lightning. As I'm with the trees there, it's hard to see the lightning, Kevin, but the base to me looks like it's flat and maybe a little more elevated now, which gives me some idea that maybe this is north of the warm front. Still, though, I think we just need to out of an abundance of caution, treat this as a potential tornado at this point, Kevin. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot. So I know we've got folks there. Sirens are going off, in several locations here. A lot of concern about this, but the storm is east of Neoga. If you are in Trilla, down to Neal, up towards Lerna and Campbell, that's the area of highest concern. You're looking at the view that is there with this. There's still some rotation. This thing has had basically a lowering on it almost the entire time we've been watching this, and we've been watching it for a while. And it stretches all the way back into Fayette County, where we had, the first kind of tornado warning that came out. But this thing has literally just kind of rotating this entire time. So the concern for this is still rooted right there through the middle portions of Cumberland County, kind of the northwest side. Maybe they're near Neal. This is going to be west of Toledo. So west of Toledo is where this is located. And so then you can see Trilla, the Cottonwood area kind of showing up, and Campbell. Be on the lookout as this will lift off here to the north and to the east. Jacob getting into the tornado warned part of the cell there, and he's going to give us a little vantage point of it here in just a little bit. But I've got Brandon that's over here, and Brandon, tell me a little bit about some of the reports that you're seeing in terms of some of the damage. Maybe down into Fayette County, you're telling us?
Fayette County, talked to the dispatch over there, Fayette County Dispatch, and they told me that at 900 Avenue and 1100 Street in Chauvenir, power lines, poles, trees down, a couple houses affected, so stay away from that area if you can. We'll be calling a couple other EMAs as well to try to get you more damage updates.
Okay, so that was kind of the Fayette County right when you initially kind of went on a while back, and so it's confirmed damage from probably was a tornado down that way. Let us know if you hear anything northern Effingham County, and then right maybe on the Cumberland County line there. Let us know if you're hearing anything from those.
Well, I'll make some calls on that.
Okay, sounds good. We'll come back here to the radar where again confirmation. They've got what's called the tornado warning. That's why you're seeing this purple color here. That basically means that they've had confirmation of a tornado. And the storm's still showing some of that here. This is going to be west of Toledo. It's going to be pretty much kind of riding right there along 121 is where some of that rotation is, kind of just north of 121 is where the rotation is. The small, very, very small community of Neal, Illinois, just a little spot there that if you're familiar with that area, basically just there's a few houses over there, but right there along County Road 900 north, north of 121. Lerna, if you're up near Lerna, I would be in your tornado safe spot here as a precautionary reason for this. And anywhere there just west of Campbell, so Lerna to Trilla, you're going to see some heavy rainfall and maybe some hail that's associated in there. Then every once in a while, we get these little upticks in the rotation on the storm, and that rotation is, as I mentioned, probably right about there. And we'll click back on the velocity on this, and so rotation there over Neal, rolling northeast and into some more kind of rural portions of Cumberland and Coles County. On the Cumberland and Coles County line is where this is heading at this time, as the Weather Service has again issued that tornado warning here for Cumberland and Coles County. We've got a lot of people obviously watching down that way. If you're in Charleston, you're not in the warning here just yet, but this storm is generally going in your direction. This whole time we've had this northeasterly movement of the storm. You know, what I'm seeing here hopefully can be a weakening in terms of the rotating part of this. I'm not seeing as much rotation in there as we saw a little bit earlier, but if there was something, it's going to come right there along the Cumberland and Coles County line. And you're not going to be able to see much with this, I'll tell you that as well. The views will be obscured by rain that could kind of, wrap, around that tornado, and you would be unable to see it. Tornado embedded there into the rain itself, so very difficult to kind of pick anything out. So it is pretty useless to try to go out and kind of see this thing, as much as I know some people want to do that and they think, that's the Midwestern thing to do. We want you to take shelter. We want you to stay safe. We want you to get down to your lowest level and, take this as the real deal, because the Weather Service doesn't always issue tornado warnings on the confirmed kind of angle. They issue tornado warnings, and then that's the red box you usually see. This is that purple pink color that you're looking at there, which tells us that, again, from earlier, we think we did have a tornado. There was some of the damage in Fayette County. Jacob did spot the funnel earlier. He did mention that he saw, maybe a brief little power hit that happened north of Effingham. So that is something of concern. What I'm going to do here just real quick, I'm going to come back over for our friends that are over here into eastern Christian County, and in the Assumption area and near Dunkel. That storm there has had some pretty large hail associated with it as it has moved through. And I just want to show you that storm because that is also one where the Weather Service has been watching, the potential for some rotation within that as well. And it's got some hail. So just kind of be careful over there. If you're in Assumption, you're probably going to get hit maybe there just on the west side with some really heavy rainfall. Maybe it kind of skirts just west of you. It's going to be a real close call there. But Moequa, I would be watching things. Radford area, I'd be watching over the next half an hour as that storm also lifts to the northeast. Right now, though, I'm hoping that the Weather Service is going to continue to kind of analyze this and, maybe kind of go along with potentially some of my thinking that maybe it's weakening a little bit, which would be some great news, which could limit the tornadic threat. If there is something, it's going to be sitting right on the Coles and Cumberland County line now. It's going to be right there, Trilla to Johnstown, right along the county line is probably where some of that rotation is located. The really heavy rain, that's going to be your reds that you see here. Heavy rain, maybe some small hail associated with the storm. And then the rotating part of this, we'll just have to switch back on the velocity here real quick. So you got something maybe right about there, south and east of Trilla, and going to be heading between Lerna and Campbell. Okay, so there's Lerna and Campbell. Rotation possibly still here, moving to the northeast. That's what we're looking at with our storm down the line. Again, so there's Charleston. You are north of the storm right now, but it is heading for you. This storm is south of Mattoon. You may have some rain there, but the strongest part of the storm is south of you and probably going to pass to your south and east. And so Mattoon's up here. The storm is going to the north and to the east. And so basically, and I'll just kind of draw this for you again, this would go more in lines with heading towards the Charleston area than it's going to be towards Mattoon. So just for our friends that are watching in those areas here tonight. Jacob has been in that area. We're trying to establish a communication with him. I know he's going kind of in and out with his signal, but we'll try to establish some communication with him, see what he is seeing in that area. Again, the reason we're on the air, the National Weather Service, a confirmed tornado that they issued this. That's the purple pinkish color there that you see. Just to kind of give some people a heads up, Neoga, you're in the clear, obviously. Sigel as well, you're fine. Right now, Toledo, while that storm is just to your north and west, you would see, if there was something there, you would see it off to your north and west if there was something. But so Toledo, you're good. Green up, not an issue for you. The storm is not an issue for you. But in the next hour, does Charleston, Raritan, Kansas area, have something to watch? Yeah, I'd be watching this storm, but right now, I'm hoping this thing will just continue to weaken. I seem to be seeing some signs of that. The rotating part of the storm here, south of Lerna, and going to be coming right along the Cumberland and Coles County line. Let's go to Jacob, who's out there. Jacob, we know that you have been tracking this storm. And we've got your view there, your camera there. Okay, we got you. Tell us where you're at and what you're seeing. Are you seeing anything? They say confirmed, but I'm not as convinced on radar. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, I think that was that earlier report north of Effingham, and so that may have been a little delayed. We talked about it, seeing that cone funnel, and we had a power hit at the quick trip and on that north side of 45. I think that's what this warning is based on. The rotation area is just to my east. For the most part, it seemed elevated. There was a brief period of time where I did see something start to descend a little more, that wall cloud drop a bit. I think we're still close to the warm front is one thing, because coming into the rain here, as I'm starting to hit again, it was still 69, 70 where we were, and so that warm front is close by. I feel better about this storm at this point, but I still think it's worth keeping a very close eye on, and I still think it's worth sheltering if you're in that tornado warning polygon. But you're right, I'm not sold that there's a tornado down at this moment, but that's something that we're going to keep an eye on. I'll go ahead and send it back to you from the StormTracker. I'm Jacob Dickey. Kevin, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jacob, giving us the eyes out there. Obviously, a lot harder to see anything. We're approaching, 8:55, 8:56 here at night. It's going to be difficult to see anything. And then, of course, you got the rain that we're dealing with. Curious to see what the Weather Service does, if they carry this on anymore or cancel it. There's still some very, very broad rotation in there. It's probably a little bit weaker than from what we've seen here from the earlier storm, so hopefully weakening as it comes into southern portions of Coles County, and maybe we can start to, worry a little bit less there. We'll cross our fingers for that. Obviously, it's still a strong storm. There's still maybe a little bit of hail in there between Trilla in the Johnstown area. You've got Janesville over there, right on the county line. So the County Road 800, 1400 there on the county line, seeing still a very intense storm along that area. So we're watching that carefully. Our friends that are in Mattoon, you're good. Shouldn't have any issues with this. Charleston, we're going to watch you. Our other storm that is over here south of Moequa now, so between Assumption, Radford, Moequa. So you're going to ride right there along 51. That would be a rough stretch to be traveling on here right now, as that storm is going to just pretty much kind of take over from Assumption all the way up to Moequa in terms of some heavy rainfall, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible tag, as mentioned by the Weather Service. And just to kind of give you this other wider view, it's very isolated. Not everybody has a storm, but we've got one here, and then obviously the tornado warning. So it looks like, did they just kind of back this thing down to a regular tornado warning? Okay, radar indicated. So it is back down to a radar indicated tornado warning here is what we've got. So radar indicated tornado, if you're in Lerna, still be in your tornado safe spot. Over to Campbell, the Johnstown area, still some broad rotation within this. The confirmed tornado tag, which is why this changed from the purple color back over to the red color, is because it's basically kind of that downgraded tornado warning. But that's what we got with this storm that you're looking at here. So I'm gonna do this for our folks that are watching here. We have got the news coming up here at 9 o'clock on WCIX. We have got regular programming scheduled to be on WCIA. As I kind of look at this storm here, I'm just not seeing as much in terms of the tornadic potential on it here immediately. So I'm just going to tell our folks back there in the control room, what we're probably going to do here is we're going to send things back to regular programming right at the top of the hour of the 9, okay? And we're going to start the 9 just as normal, okay, on WCIX with our weathercast there, but on WCIA, we can get you back to the regular programming here. I just think that the tornadic threat on this is kind of coming down. It's not looking as impressive as it once was. Jacob is on the storm. We've got his eyes out there on this thing. The rotation of this is going to be right on the county line. And Jacob, you don't see anything in your area there, right? I'm just kind of hearing in my ear. I'm just asking him in my ear that he doesn't see anything. But I think what we're going to do is just kind of hold back here and monitor this. We'll continue the streaming that is on all of our social media pages on WCIA.com and on the weather apps and whatnot. You can go and continue to watch it or turn on to WCIX, what we call our .2 channel, 3.2, X49, various different locations that you can find all of that. Again, the storm over there near Assumption, dropping some hail over there potentially. We're watching that Christian County storm, but also watching the storm here right along the Cumberland and Coles County line. I know we got folks watching us in Charleston there. Turn on to WCIX and we will come back to you there. So regular programming on WCIA, we'll send you guys back, but we will start WCIX here. We'll be back here in just a moment.
This is your WCIA 3 forecast first, sponsored by Route 66 Solar.
Okay, welcome back here on WCIX, News at 9. It's been an active evening here for us. We've been monitoring things here. there is still a tornado warning that is in effect here for this cell that's right here along the Cumberland and Coles County line. We're watching this carefully here. There's been a slow kind of downtick in terms of the rotation on this storm. Not as impressive as it once was a little bit earlier. Still a strong storm here, not to be discounted. Our friends down the line in Charleston want to be on the lookout as this is continuing to go to the north and to the east, okay? We're going to come back. If this thing kind of ramps up anymore, we'll get on here and let you know about it, and we'll have an update on what to expect for the rest of tonight when we come back as WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Lighty.
Okay, folks, thanks for hanging here with us as we continue to try to deliver to you the most accurate, up-to-date information on this severe weather threat that we've had here tonight. By the letter of the law and technicalities, there is still a tornado warning that is in effect here for portions of Cumberland and Coles County. I just have to tell you, from kind of what I'm seeing, I don't see a lot of rotation with this. We had it a lot, quite a bit earlier. Not seeing as much of it now. I know we've got a lot of people watching us there into, Charleston and in, parts of Coles County here right now, down the line Ashmore, and you guys are, on guard because this storm is right to your south and west. I just want you to know, you're going to get a good thunderstorm. You're going to get some heavy rainfall. You're probably going to get maybe even some small hail in there, a lot of lightning, but I'm just not seeing rotation within this, which is some good news. So as long as that doesn't ramp back up, then we're going to be looking. We're going to be looking a lot better here in the next few, minutes or so. But listen, I got to tell you, if you're down there, that's still a pretty good storm, and we can kind of look at it when we just throw on. There's a few lightning strikes in. There's not as much lightning as we had a little bit earlier, but that's some heavy rainfall. So Lerna over to Campbell, and they're going to be coming in there to the south side of Charleston. You're already starting to see some of the rain, but that heavy stuff is going to start to pick up here in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. So that's what we've got there. Kind of widening the view out just a little bit. I just want to show you a couple little other cells. This is one south of Paris, not much going on. The other storm that we had a warning on earlier was the one over here in parts of Christian County, and that storm was weakened significantly. The one between Assumption and Moweaqua, it actually had quite a bit of hail in it a little bit earlier, but yes, it's coming down. Don't get me wrong if you're Moweaqua, but that storm looking a little bit better. There's another one there north of Taylorville that stretches up there to the north. Nothing of too much concern. Maybe a stronger one coming over here towards the Verdon and Girard areas. Southern Sangamon County south of Auburn. A little stronger storm there. But in terms of coverage, isn't it? It's interesting to just kind of look at the view of this, and you've got kind of scattered storms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe a little one up here into Champaign County even that we can kind of zoom in on. None of these are severe, but you're probably going to get some rain there in Urbana towards Carl Hospital and right there over Campus Town. Probably starting to pick up on some of that rain here, but nothing is severe with this. Right now, the tornado warning continues down here in, let's just call it all of, or now just Coles County, because the storm is out of Cumberland County now, but I'm just not seeing the rotation on this. And I can even show it to you. Not seeing as much within that, but we've been watching things. Jacob has been out there, and if I got a little time, I'll just kind of toss to Jacob here real quick. Jacob, you're on the storm. What are you seeing?
Yeah, can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so where we are on coming up to Lincoln Highway, Wood Creek. And to me, this storm is elevated. There's no surface features that are close to the ground that I've been able to see. The radar rotation is not great. We've got cold air being pulled in, so I would be shocked to see an extension of this tornado warning as it moves off to the northeast. I can see the lowering, the original old lowering, and it is very ragged. It just does not look that impressive as it's moving closer to the Charleston area now, kind of in my vantage point to the left, but there's not much to look at here. The lightning has come down. Still some heavy rain. There's quite a bit of some heavy rain with this particular storm, but not impressed at this point, and I think we'll be winding things down here before long. maybe still a chance for some hail, but this storm is elevated, meaning surface features, not something that's occurring, and without features at the surface, you aren't getting a tornado potential with that. So we'll keep an eye on it, but that's my report here in southern Coles County near Lincoln Highway Road and Cottonwood Creek. I'll be coming into Charleston here before long. I'm Jacob Dickey, back to you.
Yeah, rotation definitely coming down here. Starting to get some rain here at the studio as well. So that's what we're going to be dealing with here tonight. Hopefully a downward trend in terms of the severe weather tonight, but we're going to continue to monitor things and keep you up to date. We've got much more of WCIA 3 News coming up after the break.